So right now I have the lovely pleasure of having Stacey B with us of Limitless with Stacey B. How are you, Stacey?
I'm great, Gabby. How are you doing today?
I am good. I am good. And so please, to start us off, please just tell us a little bit about your journey of how you got to where you are today, including maybe a couple things that really were a turning point to get to where you are.
Absolutely, yeah. I started my company at 19, my real estate company, and started that journey of working in residential real estate, and started building a team about 5 years in, and always found myself bringing mindset and the positive aspect to helping my team members break through, whether it's with my team or even with clients, helping them really focus on what their outcomes are and incorporating visualization into the home sale. And so always noticed that that was present. And, as I looked back, I realized that, meditation and consciousness and all of that was present very early in my life, well before leaving the nest. And so I paid attention to that and kept bringing that forward. And so it was 2016, I got the opportunity to go to India and, was still basically selling real estate and just knew that there was, a turning point. So I could say that's, one of the first turning points. Well, one of the turning points,
Mm-hmm.
if not the first. And I knew that, awakening humanity and, really introducing women specifically to how to find fulfillment and freedom was something that I was put on this planet
Right.
to do and help them awaken with. And so I started exploring that more and more, and had another actually two more trips to India in 2017 and 2018, and that was sort of the cherry on top, if you will, that allowed me to take that sharp right turn and start building that next venture. And so today I still have my real estate company
Mm-hmm.
and a team that runs that, and I'm excited to be going full time into really helping women step into all of their power.
Yeah, so I would love to hear then what it exactly is this venture that you're doing now, because it sounds like that's kind of like your purpose. You have the job that we get into because we're told let's, be financially stable, and then there's the one that you like just pulls at your heartstrings that you want to do. So please tell us about that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've developed the inside out success method, which, the purpose is to really be able to succeed from the inside out and it be sustainable. And that once you get to, these benchmarks of achievements after achievement, that you feel truly fulfilled and free at those benchmarks. Because a lot of times, I know this was my truth, halfway into my career was I was achieving like crazy, but each time I would get to that benchmark, I would feel a sense of emptiness in a way.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, you can relate
I
at all.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what I found was, that this methodology was what I had created for myself because I lacked that freedom and fulfillment at these key points in my life where I should be overjoyed. It should be celebration time. And I was finding like, is this all there is? Was the
Mhm.
question. And so the methodology is built on four pillars, which is based on awareness, ownership, intention, and realization. So I found
Mm.
that those, four principles really are the four-prong approach to support us in whatever endeavor, so that we can not only have that success, but have that fulfillment and be able to, by stepping into all of our power, elevate everyone, along with us and
Right.
raise consciousness at the end of the day. That's the bigger purpose.
That's lovely. And so out of those four pillars, I'm curious for with your clients, which one would you say is the one that's more like the most like evolution you see, and which one do you think is like the hardest for clients to really like connect with out of those four pillars?
Yes, that's such a great question. And it's fascinating because one of them actually serves both, is the answer to both questions. It's the most profound for them and also I think the most challenging, and that is
Mm.
ownership. Because we
Yes.
look at ownership, more as a surface level conversation, which it's so much more than that. And it's ownership of, where you're hiding, where
Hmm.
you're playing small. And by you seeing those gaps and taking ownership, for yourself and, how you might be holding back in some way. In essence, you take ownership and power of your life. So it's a double-edged sword. It's the most difficult because it's hard to see that we're not showing up, especially as women, because it's so important that we show up and be that rock for our family and in our lives.
Right.
And so it's most challenging, but also the most rewarding when that clicks, because game over. It's like, watch out.
Now I know.
Right?
No one else can hold me back, so I have ownership of me, and no one can control me at the end of the day.
Yes. That's so true.
And so going through your journey as far as like with real estate and like you say, making that basically that transition and helping other people kind of feel more balanced, what are some of your best ways to keep yourself well balanced when it comes to personal life and your career?
Yes. So, one of the things that I have stepped more and more into, just even in the past 5 years, and I encourage everyone to embrace it, is the concept of listening to your body. When we feel tired, we go and grab a caffeinated drink. Like, that's our culture and what society's conditioned us to do. But instead of doing that, if you can set aside 20 minutes, set aside 3 minutes. If you have 3 minutes, right? We all have 3 minutes, and just focus on some breath work and reconnect with your vision. That's something that keeps me grounded, keeps me focused, no matter what comes my way. And so I think just having that, not only the morning routine, but knowing that morning routine can serve you almost like your partner in crime throughout the day.
Right.
And just be, your wing woman, wing man, so that you can really, support yourself. I think that's the biggest thing.
It's crazy how just a little bit of still time and just kind of recentering yourself can make such a big change and impact.
Yes, it's so crazy.
Yes. And so now you've talked about so much about consciousness. I'm definitely curious, what does being a conscious business leader mean to you?
It's multifaceted for sure, but I think that the biggest thing is that the way that I show up and the way that like I see the world, I see myself, absolutely impacts and affects those that I lead and the people that I serve. And so being, not only being aware, but when you're aware, making quick decisions and, changes so that you can adapt quickly. I think being a conscious business leader really means, when you see something and you have awareness, stepping into that and making a change, not just having the awareness, right?
Right. Right. And so how do you think, what would your advice be for people who do have that awareness, but they're struggling to actually put it into action and make that change?
Yeah. So it would be, look at whatever it is that's, come up and have that awareness and try to take it a step further and ask yourself, how am I contributing to the situation? That's one of my favorite questions, because again, when you take full ownership of the situation and you put the responsibility in your court, you're the problem and the solution. So you're able to work with it very quickly. So ask yourself how you're contributing and then reflect on what might come up and see, if there are some areas that, you can identify you're contributing and you can clean up and not even, say anything to the other person involved or the situation involved, just almost in a rebalancing within yourself. See that you're that problem and solution and create a plan to fulfill your vision. I think having that vision at the forefront and whatever the outcome is so important so that you can stay, tuned into that.
And such amazing advice that you've given throughout this entire recording. I'm also curious as far as if there is one lesson that you wish you knew beforehand this entire journey, what would it be?
If there was one lesson, I would have to say that it would be to trust myself. And I know that sounds like, oh yeah, we all should trust ourselves. But I think what I mean it a little bit, at least for me, it's a deeper version, of not only trusting myself, but seeing myself for who I really am. Because I think that a lot of times, especially starting my career at a young age, that was distorted, for whatever reasons. And I think that just really being able to see myself for who I am and what I am and trust that and really go all in on that, I think would be, the thing I wish I would have known at the very beginning.
And I'm happy to get that advice because I feel like I'm in that stage right now, which, like you said, it's like starting a career young. You're trying to make these different moves. There's things that are pulling at you like you need to do, but like you said, it's like, can I do this? Even though like everything is showing that you can, but it's just like you said, that trusting yourself. And you said it's a deeper sense because it really will keep you from accomplishing what you're meant to do, your purpose, because it just doesn't, it's not as mapped out.
Yes. And I have one more thing I'd like to say,
Yeah.
on that is I think one more piece to that, advice I wish I would have known back
Mhm.
then is to not try to be all of the roles and to
Mm.
really figure out what my zone is and go all in on that and delegate the rest, because that was something that I found kind of I got caught up in or
Mhm.
slowed me down all by its slow. It was small, it really was something that I think if I would have embraced sooner,
Right.
it would help not only myself, but everyone around
Absolutely. And so for our listeners who do want more information about you and your company, where should they go?
me. The best place is my website, which is limitlesswithstaceyb.com. And that's B like boy. So limitlesswithstaceyb.com.
Wonderful. Stacey B, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And just the consciousness you have raised. Congratulations on having not one, but two businesses now being successful. And I really, really wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity.